So today we're here to answer probably one of the most frequent questions I ever get asked. So as you all know, agency owners often come to us for help and we do our best to help them. We get asked two questions, sometimes three, but mostly two. One, how do I get clients? Two, once somebody sends me a response, how do I get them to a sales call? So joining us today, we have Yasu and we have Selena. They are the appointment setters for the Atlas Agency Launch Lab.
Hey.
Hi. They are here to help give us some insights about how to get somebody from an opt-in or from a conversation to a sales call. So Selena and Yasu, how about you take a minute and introduce yourselves, tell us how you got into this and what you think about this.
So my name's Yasser. I've been appointment setting for Sheena for about 3 weeks now. I got into appointment setting. To be fair, I got into it when learning sales and high ticket closing, but ever since I've kind of loved it and loved helping businesses actually help people as well. So it's always been something I love. I love helping people. So yeah, it combined together, it works for me.
Hi everyone, I'm Selena. I've also been working for Sheena probably about 2 weeks now, and it was the same for me as well. I started in closing and then I actually prefer doing settings, so I decided to make it into a career.
Well, so when Yasa and Selena both joined me, I was like, guys, I have lots and lots of work. And they're like, yeah, okay, great. And then they jumped in and I found out how much work there actually was. And one of the best things about working with them is they've kind of schooled me a little bit. I thought I was doing a pretty good job. I was getting pretty good response rate. They came along and I noticed they removed my comments. They sent me a message saying, maybe we should have done this way. Doing it their way has gotten me even better response rates, which is why they're here with us today. So before we get into how they do what they do, we're going to talk a little bit about your buyer's journey. So I've made a slide here. And if you look there at the very top where it says problem, you got a bunch of people with a problem, right? So us as agency owners, we're here to solve problems for business owners. Most of the time they need leads. And so everybody's out there, they all have the same problem. And so we're going to talk to them about the fact they have a problem. Now, the thing is, most of the time, when we get one of these people, we're going to go straight from problem to book an appointment. And we forget about the fact that everybody is on a very, very different part of the buyer's journey. Some of them are just becoming aware. So, for example, this one here is for solar. Some of the prospects are like thinking, I should save money on my electric bill. Or, I should save the world. They're just starting to get awareness of that. So if we take a person who's just starting to get awareness, take straight into a sales call, we're not going to be very successful if they even turn up to the sales call. The next thing that happens is once they become aware, they start considering the options, right? So they're going to look around and they go, I could get solar panels on my ceiling. I could use solar panels and then have backup batteries. Maybe I need a generator. Or they go, I could go to community farm. So this is when they start looking around and finding out about all the options. Again, if we take a person who's in the consideration phase and we push them towards a call, we aren't going to have very much success. They'll probably ghost us before they even decide they're going to get on a call. After they've done a little bit of looking around, after they've decided, you know what, I'm going to get solar panels on my roof. I don't need to get new roofing before I go. I've had my roof checked out. I'm good to go. I'm ready to go. This is when they're ready to make that decision. And this is when you can book the appointment and make that sale. But a lot of us, we do prospecting with the entire goal of getting that person to a call. So we've built out a little bit here. If somebody is in the awareness phase, they want more information via content or something free. All right, this is where most of us should be using lead magnets. Now, if you're part of the Atlas Agency Launch Lab team, you're well aware that I teach my agency owners they need to have a bunch of different lead magnets. They should have a YouTube channel. They should have a Facebook group. They should be running masterclasses, webinars. They should be teaching people about the wonderful world of marketing, because some of them think having their address inside of a phone book is enough. So they finally realize they need a little bit more. This is when you need to educate them, okay? So you're going to have a lead magnet with name and email. Now I'm going to get Yessa and Selena to jump in real quick before they tell us all about the wonderful things and tell us, how do they deal with somebody who's in the awareness phase?
For someone that's in the awareness phase, I think for me, there is no real reason to chunk into my sales call. From that area, I would start to nurture them, see what their main struggles are, and see why they came up with that idea, or why they became aware of their problem. If they've taken any ideas, or if they have any consideration of what they're going to do next, and just give them some help with maybe options. No reason for sales calls or anything like that. Just give them some options which they can ponder over, and that then gives them ideas, and just being helpful, because then when it comes to later in the buyer journey, they then will think about you. So I just leave it at that.
Yeah.
I think in the awareness stage, it's all about asking questions, and instead of like assuming, so like for example, assuming that this is their issue, instead of like assuming, just asking the question and actually just listening and seeing what is the issue, and just being like you said, like aware of like where it is that they're at and where it is that they want to go.
Yeah. And Selena and Yes are extremely good at this. In fact, I have screenshots of conversations proving that this works, okay? Now, if you were to introduce the lead magnet, so we have free training here at the Atlas Agency Launch Lab. I have free training available for any of my prospects inside of my agency. How would you introduce that to them? Would you just send it to them and say, hey, I have some free training I thought might be helpful to you?
I think for me, once they've become aware, I then ask them the question of what their main struggle is. I think once a person becomes aware of their struggles or aware of the decision, there's always a struggle that comes with it as well and follows with it, where they don't know how to answer something, or they don't know what needs to be done. Mm-hmm. I would then use that struggle and then guide them with the answer. So if they're struggling with, let's say, topic A, I would give them the free content to help them, or free value about topic A to help them. And I think that then gets them better knowing what they need to do next. I think that then helps them, as opposed to selling them, you're just helping them, and it really makes a difference for them.
So by the way, guys, Selena, Yester, and I didn't have much prep for this call. I literally said, hey, let's get on a call. I made some slides. So we're all sitting here figuring each other out. So give them props in the comments if you can. All right, next thing, once they've consumed your content, this is when they're aware that they have multiple different options. And this is when they start looking about, because they know they have the problem now. They know that there is a solution out there for them. And this is when they start looking at all the different solutions. And the fun part about this one is letting them know that your solution is the only solution for them without being salesy. All right. So when you do the lead magnet, nice short form, okay? Name, email address. When we're not asking anything of them, okay? Because we're going to give before we take. When they're in the consideration phase, we need to tie them down a little bit more by asking for more information from them. So this is usually when we'd do things like get their phone number. We'd add a different lot of value that's got a different form, but they're okay because I've already received that first lot of value that they know is great. They know that whatever is coming is going to help them, and they're going to not be uncomfortable about giving you that extra part of information about them that you've asked for, like their phone number. So this is also the part of their buyer's journey where you need to stay in contact with them. All right. This isn't a check-in with them every week kind of situation. This is respond to their conversation, keep asking questions, make sure that that pain point is fully defined for them. A lot of people haven't finished defining it for them at this stage. You need to help them finish defining it. And this is also the time where probably more importantly than just the awareness phase, you need to establish yourself as a person. Would you guys say that?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's something a lot of people miss in any buyer's journey. When a person has awareness and they consider their options, a lot of people seem to go in salesy, but a lot of people just want to talk to someone. They want to talk about what decision they've come to, and then once they let it out, then you can then help them make or guide them to the next decision.
I think what the crazy thing is like when we're talking to people in chat, we never actually mention the product at all. We never mention the feature, the benefits, or anything like that. It's just like having a conversation like with me, the approach that I kind of go in with, because I'm a very emotional person. So the kind of approach that I just kind of go in, I just kind of talk to them, but the relationship with them sticks. Like I think, you know, one of the prospects that I was talking to the other day, he got on a call with you and he didn't buy, but a day after that, I put up like a story saying that I was sick or something, and then he responded back to my story saying, "Oh my gosh, like, are you fine?" I think it's the relationship between me and the prospect, it just sticks. So when they're ready to buy, they're like, we're the first person that comes to their mind. So we don't mention anything about the products. We just sort of just like you said, just like be human and build that relationship, and just kind of like their problem might be something completely different to like, so someone had an issue with ChatGPT. I just kind of just helped him out with ChatGPT, and then he started going on about like, oh, I'm struggling with this and I've done this, and then I kind of was just like, you know what, I understand what you're going through, because when I first started sitting, I did the same thing. And he was like, damn, you understand what I'm going through. And it's just like, you know, they just open a whole book of like their struggles, and then you just sort of take from there. But we don't mention anything about the products, the services, the price. Do you know what? To be honest, no one asks. No one ever asks. They just end up saying like, I'd love to get on a call and chat about it.
Yep. And I think that there's like one, it makes so much sense when it's explained to you, but most of us forget it when we're out there looking for clients, we're out there looking for things. If you were to, let's say you would fall over in the street and you were in extreme pain, and somebody came along, okay, obviously somebody that looks halfway respectable, but if somebody came along and offered you your hand and you said, hey, you know, do you want some help up? You're always 100% going to say yes, please. I mean, unless you're a germaphobe or something, but you're always going to say yes, please. It's got to make sense to you, because you know your pain and they're helping you. Whereas if somebody randomly just came along and they said to you, hey mate, here's $100. Do you want $100? You're going to be like, what's the catch? Why are you such a weirdo? And most of us, when we're prospecting, we go in and we're like, I'm going to get you 50 leads this month. And they're going to look at you like you're crazy. I mean, yes, okay, they might want it, but they're not going to have that trust. They're not going to have that, this person wants to help me, because they're feeling pushed into something the same way as if a stranger was to offer you $100. So what Selena and Yasser here are talking about is the fact that you're a human. You're talking to these people. They are unloading to you, and then you're offering to help. And most of the time, they're going to sell themselves on you and ask for the sales call, right?
Yeah, to be fair, a good example of that today was I was speaking to a prospect just casually, and I think because I got so deep into his pain points, I understood all of his pains. Automatically said, I know you're an agency owner. I've seen you've done this for 4 years. Let's get on a call today. I didn't ask for a sales call. I didn't say anything about a sales call, anything further. He just did it himself. He booked his own appointment, and that was it. Because we understood his needs so much. When you can understand as prospects' needs and pain points better than a prospect, and understand their situation so much, they're going to automatically assume you have the solution anyway. That's the approach I go with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and so people are coming to me and they're saying, okay, can you give me your scripts for cold outreach? 100%, I'm going to give you the scripts for cold outreach. It's not going to do you any good if you don't have this piece. If you've watched my sales training, you now know how to conduct a sales call, or you're already a rock star salesperson. If you've watched my prospecting training, my client acquisition training, and you know how to reach out to these people, most of you are coming back to me and saying, okay, but I don't know what to say in between because I'm getting a really good response rate, but no one's coming to a call. This is the training part. This is the middle part that you're missing. And that's That's the having the conversation part. And I'm going to share my screen and show you exactly how this works. So we've tried to block out most people's names here. Some of these are for my agency, some of these for the Launch Lab, but this is just undeniable proof that conversations help. And then I'm going to shut up and let Yessa and Selena speak, okay? So this one here, this person was talking to us about AI, about the exciting parts that they were taking their agency to. I've also been looking into some of the things that they were also looking into. So we were able to talk about that. And then do you know what he says? He says, you know what? I am interested in your offer. I like the personable approach of your lead nurture process so far. And then guess what he did? He booked a call. I didn't mention, hey, we should get on a call. I didn't say, oh, okay, give me your phone number. Let's talk about it. I didn't say, do you want, I have the answer. I didn't say any of that. I just had a conversation with a person because I'm a person too. And I was genuinely interested in what we were talking about. I got a lot of value out of that conversation. I hope he did too. And that's why he booked a call. This next one here. This one here said, thank you for your follow-up message. And then we said, so you're planning to start an agency in design. That's really cool. What made you think about it? This person says, I thought, why not just jump into an agency? See how they're giving you information because everybody wants to talk about their business. And you're going to find the same as an agency owner. You can get them into a conversation. You're going to get them to calls. Now, this next part is probably going to be really important. When you're talking to somebody, you need to ask powerful questions. All right? It does work without asking powerful questions, for sure. But if you don't have the skill of asking powerful questions, of getting that person to feel comfortable enough with you to expose to you why they're actually talking to you in the first place, then you're never going to get them to the call. And I think Selena and Yessa kind of taught me a little bit how to do that. Just saying, just a little bit. So these next two are ones that I use for my agency. So this one here, he's a dentist. I said, hey, how are things going? He said, good. How's things going with your week this far? And I said, great. I spoke about the summertime. He said, got that right. I gotta love the sun. I said, me too. I'm heading to Maine in a few weeks for work, and I can't wait to spend time on the beach. My favorite time of the year for sure. And he said, oh my goodness, I'm jealous. Sounds phenomenal. And then we made some joking conversation about the fact that we both need offices that can be outdoors, and I already run too many businesses. So he's going to do it. I'm going to be the beta tester. Do you know what the next conversation was? He said, hey, I just booked a call on your Calendly. I never once mentioned, hey, I'm a marketer. I never said, do you need more clients? I never said, how is your lead generation going? Where are you getting clients from? None of it. I just started a conversation with a complete stranger and had a real conversation. And he said, oh, I booked a call. I couldn't show you because it kept cutting itself off here. This one here, she's a naturopath. She runs a very busy business. And we were talking about things. I said, hey, how are things going this week? And she said, better. More space than it has been, more people on vacation. It's hot here. We talked a little bit about the heat. We talked about her allergies. We talked about the fact that local honey can help your allergies. And then I didn't talk to her for like 2 weeks. And I was like, oh. So I said, hey, I'm really sorry for the late reply. And she said, she just responded straight away. And then if you can see my cursor right here, it says, I would love to have a conversation with you over the internet. What's your time zone? All right. I never once told this person I'm a marketer. I never once asked this person if they need more leads. I never once told her, hey, I can solve your business problems. She spoke to me about some of them, and she booked herself a call, and now she's my client. So here are a couple more. People just having conversations. What are you likely to get out of this group? Maybe I can send you some freebies. If you're an agency owner, you should have a group of your own avatar, by the way. You should have lead magnets booked out. This person literally just sold themselves. Look, we're talking about pastries and chocolate in Paris. And then look down here. I really appreciate you, Selena. Thank you for everything. See that? They've built relationships. and they have booked calls. So in case you were thinking, this is never going to work, I'm not selling anybody anything, this is proof it works right here. So I'm going to stop talking now. I'm sure that Yessa and Selena have so much more content to give you than I do. And I'm going to let them share a little bit about how to get people to calls.
I think the first thing I would say I have learnt, it depends, for me, it depends whether it was cold or warm. For cold leads, I found, and I had someone say this to me yesterday, and he was I think he was a mentor or a coach for agencies like yourself, Sheena. I added him cold from a agency or one of the groups. I connected with him and just gave him a friend request and told him nice to connect. And he sent me 5 voice notes to say nobody does that anymore. Nobody connects with me. No one says hi. And after that, we've been voice noting and sending 10 voice notes a day to each other. And we're just talking about things. So I think the one thing that I always say is be a human, understand people, and they will literally open their book of their life and tell you everything.
Yeah.
And I kind of think also, I think one thing that I struggle with in the beginning as well is like when you're going in and then like you're having a conversation with someone, don't just automatically assume that you know what their problem is, because you might think it's A, it might actually be Y or Z. So I think ask questions. Don't think that they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this person asked me so much questions. Just ask them, and literally they'll open up a whole book as to what the issue is. And I think one of the things that I actually use that's actually started helping us now, every single time after every sentence, end it with a question. Because I think when you say, like, say for example, like, oh hey, how are you doing? I'm fine. How are you? Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. And then the conversation is dead. Oh yeah, like, but if you add a question at the end of it, it makes them reply back. I think it's just like the whole process, how we think about it. It's not like I'm gonna come on Facebook and I'm gonna sell people today. I think it's more about I'm gonna come on Facebook, I'm gonna help people solve their issues. And I think when you go in with that mindset, it kind of, you don't go in salesy, and people can, like, when you go in salesy, people can like smell it off you. I think kind of like the same, like, you know, when you're like annoyed and you text somebody, but you're not annoyed at that person, but so like you say like okay, and then someone texts you back saying, why are you annoyed at me? And it's like, but I'm not annoyed at you. But it's like they can feel your energy. I think it's like the same thing, like I don't go into Messenger when my energy is so low, because they can feel that and it puts people off. So I think always end your your sentences with questions. And also I think one thing that we've seen is don't send big chunks, because like, you know, big chunks of writing. Because I had someone send me like a massive paragraph today, and I was like, I'll read it later, and then I came back to and actually read it, but someone else could have seen that and been like, you know what, I don't want to read it, like it's too long, I don't want to get into it. But I think the way that I just kind of see it, the way that I've been taught is like, you know, you just text like you're texting a friend or you're texting a family member. Just like for example, I say BTW, which is by the way, but I think some people might think, but they might not know what that means, and that's unprofessional, but that's what it makes people respond.
Yeah, you have to be the person.
Like for example, I just say like haha with the laughing emoji, and it gets them engaged, and then they kind of, it's like they kind of like feed off that energy, innit? They love that energy because it's so friendly, it's just humanized, and it's like, you know what, they're not coming to sell me, because as soon as they smell that, oh my gosh, they're gonna come and sell me something, that's it, they're not gonna respond back to you.
Yeah, that's 100%. I'm going to share my screen one more time just to show you that in action once I get the computer working. And, you know, we've talked quite a lot in these lives about the fact that when you get on a sales call, you're a consultant. You're asking questions about a person's business, all right? You're asking questions about their problems and why those problems need to be solved, and what have they tried to solve it so far, and where is it that we're trying to go? Like, why do we need to solve this? What's it going to mean for you if we solve this? And then, okay, so this is where we are, and this is where we want to be. How are we going to get there? If that's how you conduct your sales call, which is the only way you should conduct your sales call, if that's how you conduct your sales call, wouldn't it make sense to conduct your appointment setting the same. You know, most of us agency owners, we get taught lead generation and sales. Most of us are skipping that very, very crucial part that's in between. And if you want your clients to stick around, they need to know you. You need to be that person that they're going to knock off the end of the workday and send you a text message and be like, I had 5 new customers today and they did this and they did that. And oh my goodness, it's so exciting. Or when something goes wrong, be like, do you know what, mate? We're going to sit down and we're going to work this out together. That's the client that you want inside of your agency. We all know that's the client that we want inside of our agency. If you don't have this appointment setting piece, not going to get those clients inside of your agency. It's just not going to happen for you. All right. So back to what we were talking about. Look here. I use laughing face emoji. Right? This one here. I said, ha ha. Ha ha. For sure. You know, I'm not coming in as a professional business owner. This person here, thumbs up. Look at these emojis that people are using. See this? We're just talking. We're just normal people having conversations, making friends, forming connections, and having conversations. We hear it said a lot, you know, conversations equal sales, but we forget about the conversation part.
Oh yeah. I think that's something I've hugely realized. I think also alongside that, knowing that not everyone will be ready to buy now, but if you keep a really good relationship with them, keep nurturing them, just keep talking to them, eventually when they are like, I'm ready to buy, they will automatically think of you. She kept a relationship with me. They kept a relationship with me. Why would I go with someone else? They've gone above and beyond for me. I know they will help me. That's it. It was like that screenshot you showed us today, about the professionalism and just being nice and caring, and that prospect knew that he would get the support, so he would go with the person that was supporting the most. Yeah, understanding that.
So now I'm going to ask you guys some hard questions.
Go for it.
All right. Let's say you get a brand new lead. They come into your CRM. They never take action. They don't respond to any of your automations. How do you start the conversation?
I think you're awesome at this. Go for it.
Oh, he's put me on the spot. I think when they don't sort of respond to the automation. So I think, what I do is I actually go on the side. When it says that they've seen like your webinar and stuff like that. So I first go in and I'll be like, oh, hey, like, what their name is. Like, I've seen that you had a look at a webinar. What do you think of it? And then they don't respond. And then after that, I just kind of, after a couple of days, like not straight away, after a couple of days, I just kind of follow up and I'm just like, either we give them a call, but then if they don't answer the call, I think it's just about like building that connection. And then when they don't like sort of ring back, I just kind of think, okay, you know what? Like we had I think it was Hani the other day where we didn't speak to him for a bit and he didn't respond back. And I was like, oh, hey, Hani, it's been a while since we last spoke. The one thing that I have done with some of the people in your CRM that has actually worked is be like, hi, like, for example, Hani, we haven't spoke for a while. Just wanted to check up to see how it's going. Oh, yeah, it's going fine. And then I think one of your prospects was saying that they're going to write a book, and I've seen the notes. And I was like, oh, how's your book coming along? Oh, yeah, I forgot that I spoke to you about that. And that's it. Because I noticed that he hasn't responded to you before, so I used that tactic. And I was just like, I just wanted to, I'm just checking up on you, see how it's going, how's it going with your book? And then he was like, wait, I didn't know I told you about a book. And then I think the conversation started off from there. It's just saying that, hey, just thought I'd drop a text to see how everything's going. Yeah, fine. I think when we've been using that, we've been getting a lot more responses.
I think prospects automatically assume when I don't buy, nobody would check up on me. But it's like what I think it was Friday. I gave a prospect called like Chris a call, and even though the service cut off within about 5 seconds, because I left him a voicemail just saying let's chat. It's been a while. Let's chat. He called back and booked a call without me even asking. So I think prospects automatically assume that you won't keep in contact, but when you do, they're really surprised. Wait, what? I didn't buy. They have no reason to keep in contact with me, but they did.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep. And so I think you guys bring up multiple points here, like very good points that we should underline. When you're reaching out to somebody you have no idea about, you've never had a conversation, you don't know if they have a crab apple tree in the backyard that the deers come along and eat, you don't know what to talk about. They ask them about their business. everybody wants to talk about their business. Everybody wants to talk about their baby, what their blood, sweat, and tears is, where their mind's at currently. So as she said, I can't remember the exact wording she just used, but you can rewind since you guys are watching a replay. She asked them, how's it going with whatever? Okay. And then the other one is when you've had, so how many of you guys have had a sales call with a person and said, you know what, it's just not right time. Like we were talking about solar just before. I'm up in the northern part of the United States. Snow's coming. Nobody's doing solar installs anymore. So solar companies are shutting down, and they were going to start again February, March of next year. Does that mean that all my leads that I've been talking to, I'm going to stop talking to over the winter because it's a waste of my time? Nobody's going to give me any money? You'd think so. Traditional marketers stop talking to people, but I don't. I'm going to keep talking to them, right? It's going to be Thanksgiving. I'm going to send out a text message saying, Happy Thanksgiving, whatever their name is. They need to know. Christmas comes along, I'm going to do exactly the same. When New Year's comes along, I know I have 2-3 months until they start buying. And that's when I really, really need to ramp up that conversation with that person. So I say me, sometimes it's going to be my appointment setter, sometimes it's going to be an automated thing inside of CRM. But it's going to be, how was your holidays? You know, are you excited to be getting back into things? How is the team going? Is the team ready to come back in? You need to remember, these people have a conversation with you because you're going to solve a right now problem most of the time. Okay. And if they hear your solution, they know it's the solution they need, but they don't have the finances, they're going to walk away and they're going to think, figure it out myself. And they're going to get so tunnel vision trying to figure it out for themselves, or seeing the next shiny thing that they're going to go down. They're never even going to remember a conversation with you if you don't keep talking to them about their lives. So that is one very good thing to remember, is to keep engaging. And then the other one that she said, she uses their names, right? She uses their names. She's not sending out generic text saying, hey, how are you? Hi. She's actually using their name. She's engaging with this person as a person. All right.
Sorry. I think the one thing that I do is I never let someone walk away empty-handed. So even though I can't help them, if they're struggling with something, I will give them something to walk away with. Some free value, either one of your trainings, or do you know what? Even if it's not one of your trainings, I'll Google something. They're struggling with something. I'll Google the question. I'll find them a solution, and I let them walk away with that. But I never, ever let someone walk away empty-handed, because that one piece of information can help them down the line, 6 months down the line, 9 months down the line, they're going to still come back to you. So that's one rule that I have. I don't let them walk away empty-handed.
In addition to that, actually, I think most business owners, they want to keep all their secrets to themselves unless a prospect pays. And if you give out all so much information for free, automatically the prospect is going to think, they've given me out so much, I have to go with them. And they'll remember you for that. And then once they remember you and you give them a good result, they'll tell their friends, their family, just by you helping them and actually caring about them.
Because the other day when I had one of the prospects that wanted to get on a call with you, I knew that he wasn't ready to buy because financially he couldn't afford it. But he had a question about prospecting with you. I could have turned around and I could have said, you know what, I can't get you on a call with Sheena because there's people that pay for her services and it wouldn't be fair on them and stuff. Like, I could have done that, just like he said that they keep their secrets. But I was like, you know what, I messaged you and I was like, do you have 15 minutes to get on a call with him so you can help him out? I'm still talking to him. He said to me, when I get another client in a month or two, I'm going to come back and I'm going to buy Sheena's program.
Yep. And that's exactly it. So some of you guys, I've actually seen your lead magnets. All right. I've seen your lead magnets and I've seen a common theme amongst them. It's a very, very, very catchy headline. Hey guys, come in here. This is how you get 30 appointments booked a month for chiropractic. All right. And then you click into it and you watch somebody talking about it. They talk about everybody else's that's not working. And then they kind of give you half the answer. And then you leave thinking, well, what's the answer? If you're not giving people value, they're going to think that they're not going to care. All right. They're just going to be like, well, that was a waste of time. And that's what they're going to think of. You're somebody that wasted their time. So when somebody comes to you with a question, when you're handing out lead magnets, when somebody, even if they're not coming to you, if somebody's asking a question inside of a group and you know the answer, instead of saying, send me a DM and I'll give you the answer, just give them the answer, right? Going to do multiple things. One, that person's going to be like, this person's so nice. Like, I don't mind networking or associating myself with this person or anything else. They're not a time waster. They're not a bluffer. They're not a bait and switcher. The other thing is everybody else is going to see that, all right? Because they're not going to keep it to themselves. Trust me, if you gave them something good, they're going to share it around. Those people, and I'm like, this person's such an expert. This person knows what they're talking about. I'm going to go talk to them too. And these are prospects that are coming to you. You haven't had to pay a dime for them other than 15 minutes of your time. All right.
I think even when you don't know the answer, I always say it to him as well. I think even when you don't know the answer, ask ChatGPT. Yes. That's literally my key line all the time. Even when you don't know the answer, don't be like, oh yeah, I don't know the answer, so I can't help them. Just ask ChatGPT. That's literally my key line, isn't it? Ask ChatGPT.
I think something good is agency owners know other agency owners. So if you can help one, they'll talk to 10 that they know, and you won't have to close them because they'll already have spoke to someone that you've got results for. So you've helped one, but you'll get 11 just for you helping one. Yeah.
And for those of you guys watching, we have another 15 minutes here. So if you have questions for me, Selena, and Yasser, drop them in the comments and we'll try and answer them for you. If you guys are watching this on the replay and you didn't get to watch us live, that's perfectly fine. Drop them in the comments inside the group and we will do our best to answer. And if we can't find the answer, ChatGPT will. All right. My next question for you guys. So part of your job as an appointment setter is if somebody's no-show, I'm going to put in the Slack and say, this person didn't show up for their appointment, get them back. How do you do that?
I had that one.
I have the answer if you guys get stuck.
I like this question because every time someone no-shows, I never assume that they didn't want to come. Yeah. I know life happens sometimes and sometimes it's forgot it. Sometimes something's come up. Sometimes they just didn't remember. But if you assume that they just were a time waster when they weren't, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. Because when I've had a person called Arnold, a prospect, he's had, I think, 3 appointments, and even now he's still active, but life happens. But when he does have the time to buy, he'll buy without even questioning it.
Yeah.
And I think also, like, when they're a no-show, and I've had a few people that have had a no-show and I've rung them, I don't just and they've never answered. I don't leave a voicemail, or when I get on the call with them, I don't say, oh, let's book a call and let's, jump on a call again and see if you can reschedule. I just be like, you know what, just check up on you, see how everything's going. Notice you didn't join the call. Is everything all right? And then they just be like, oh yeah, I either I got mixed up with the time zone, or either I got busy or anything like that. But yeah, I'd love to, they say themselves, I'd love to book another call with you, and then you just book it. I think going in under the impression, you know what, you're going in and you're going to help them and you're going to care for them and you're not going to sell them. You're not going to go and say that, you know what, let's book another sales call. I know you missed it. But instead of just asking them, is everything okay? What's happened? And then they're more likely going to be like, you know what, it's kind of like a psychology thing where they're going to be like, you know what, I want to book a call with them because they've actually checked up on me. They haven't just put me on the no-show list. They've actually checked up on me, because we've had so many people where, I think it was Jason, you've tried to have 5 calls with him and he never showed up. And then the other day I was like, he was like, oh, I'd like to book a call and just have a conversation with him. And then he actually turned up as well on that one. That's the thing. He didn't turn up for 5, but on the 6th one he turned up.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, there are hundreds of leads inside of my CRM. So if you're hearing your name here, it's not necessarily you we're talking about.
Yeah.
So that's exactly how I do it. And I'm now blessed to have Selena and Yasser do it. But if you guys don't have a Selena and Yasser yet, how I do this is 7 minutes after they're supposed to turn up to the call, I'm going to give them a call, right? I'm going to say, hey, just checking in. We had an appointment scheduled for this time. I hope you can make it. I'll stay in the meet for another 10 minutes. Now, I can leave that tab open and do everything else I need to do. It's not a waste of my time, okay? And then literally 10 minutes later, I will call them back. 60% of the time they answer that call, right? They're like, I got your voicemail. Thanks for calling me back. Let's talk tomorrow. If they don't answer, I will leave another voicemail that says, hey, I hope everything's okay. I'm sorry that I missed you on the call today. I was really looking forward to whatever their business name is, finding out more about your business. When things settle down for you and you're able to book a call, let me know and we can get back on the call. All right? I'm not, hey, you wasted my time. You said you were going to commit to this call. You didn't turn up. What's going on? There's none of that. It doesn't happen. And then inside of your CRM, once again, if you don't have a Selena and Yasa, you can set yourself up some automations that are going to nurture these people like that. Okay. So, you're going to send a text message another 2 hours after the appointment, and it's going to say, username, contact name. I'm really sorry that you weren't able to make it to our call. I hope everything's going okay with you. Just send me a text message and let me know everything's okay. All right. You're asking something that's not hard. You're not saying book another call. You're not saying, where were you? Why didn't you arrive? Why did you waste my time? My time is valuable. It's just send me a message and let me know that you're okay. And then if that doesn't work, you send another message 2 days later. Once again, Go High Level can do it for you. And it's going to be like, hey, I was just looking at my calendar and noticed that you weren't on it just yet. Now my brain's gone blank. But you're going to work along the same lines, okay? You're going to talk along the same lines. You're not going to say, here's my calendar link, rebook, blah, blah, blah. You can send an email. Just say, hey, if you're thinking about rebooking, here it is. But that text conversation is much more personal, and it needs to stay on that personal level of, you know what, just sort of check back in, see how things are doing for you. All right?
I think that, in the sales industry, everyone's a salesperson. Everyone wants to be salesy, get you on the phone instantly, want you to buy now. There's not many people that take the opposite approach, and people really, really relate to that opposite approach of just caring. So if you care for your prospects, they're going to automatically come to you, because the competition is just salesy anyway. So I think that's why it works, because not enough people care about their prospects to the degree that they're caught up.
I think the one thing that we really love that you've actually given us the opportunity to do is, instead of saying that in like a week, I want you to book 30 calls or 10 calls or 20 calls, you just sort of let us do it. You just sort of let us free flow it and do it our own way, and let them and sort of took them through like you said, the process. And that way there's so many leads coming through. So it's like we was talking about the other day, we don't see the prospect as a number. We see them as an actual human and actually wanting to help them. So I think that's really helped us as well. You giving us the opportunity to be like, you know what, I don't want you to sort of, because when I first started, you said to me, you know what, yeah, the minimum is like 1 a week, or but I'd love to get like 5 or 6 or anything like that. But I love the fact that you've let us do ourselves, and that way we haven't gone in desperate and been like, we need to get these people on a call, because they've just come to us. They've just, instead of us going to them, they've just come to us. We've had so many leads come through your CRM, being like, they'll just be like, you know what, I want to book a call. That's just one message, like, I want to book a call with you. That's it.
So if you don't have a communicate.
Yeah, if you don't have a Selena communicating, you have a Selena inside of this group. You're most welcome to take a screenshot of whatever's going on with your prospect, post it in this group and say, hey guys, how do I respond?
Yeah.
Right. Wow. They're in the UK, you're in Australia. It might be night and day where you guys are, but I'm sure you'll find 10 minutes to connect somewhere. Okay. And that brings us to our next point. Don't rush your prospect by responding within 2 minutes. Okay. You need them to want to come back to you. And I know myself, if I'm having a conversation with me and they're sending ding, 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 I'm a busy person. I am going to put that conversation down. But if somebody's coming and talking to me, 5, 10 minutes, I'm getting stuff done in between, and it's actually an engaging conversation I want to be part of, like Selena talking to me about eyeshadow, of course I'm going to respond. I have 5 million other things to do, but I want to talk about eyeshadow. And the same thing's going to happen with your prospects, okay? So don't just bang, 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 spend all day. Let them know, 1, you're a busy person, because they need to know that. But 2, don't overwhelm them by just hurrying them through a conversation. All right.
I think one other thing that we do that is kind of like a bit different is when someone's like, okay, you know what, I'm ready to buy, they're not ready to buy.
No.
So we do like reverse psychology on them, and then they close them, or like someone that's not ready to buy, we do reverse psychology on them, and then they close themselves on why they want to buy with you, why they want to buy your course and not anyone else's. So they close themselves and then they book a call. I think that's something that we do, because I think anyone else would go and be like, yes, okay, you know what, fine, I'll book you in, and then they're not going to show up.
Yep. So key takeaways, guys, just to recap. You haven't noticed, be a person. Don't just be... I tell people to use the carrot, not the stick. You want to lead people along their path. You want to let them take it their own time. Use slang if you need to. Be your personality. Be your person. So every brand has a different personality. And trust me, I've prospected lawyers, okay, admittedly not like family lawyers or super, super serious people. I mean, they are serious people, but like, you know, immigration lawyers, people that are used to communicating more with people from all walks of life. And I'm going to use slang. I 100% am. And say, oh, that's really cool. Not, that sounds really nice. Like, I'm going to be myself. I am my own brand. And if you can't be yourself, your prospects aren't going to trust you.
I think what the crazy thing is, it's like with me when because I've got a bit of a copywriting background, when you're also like writing copy as well, everyone just seems to say to you, know what, write so corporate, write like this. But I like, you'll see the copy that I write for you. I think I read it out for you and you was like, oh yeah, I really like that. It's just conversational. Like, I kind of think of it like sitting like with a friend or something, having a cup of coffee and having a one-on-one conversation. I think even it kind of relates to this as well, because I think when you're like kind of writing something, or like when you're writing a text or an email or anything, you think that because I don't know this person, I need to be corporate, but just free flow it, just be yourself, and just think that, you know what, I'm just like relaxing, I'm just having a conversation. How would I speak if I was having a conversation? I think for me, that's like one of my top things that I take away is like, you know what, just like kind of just be yourself and just relax. And you know, if you need to, yeah, you don't need to like be sat up straight or something, you know, you could just like, you know, just breathe and just like, you know, just be yourself.
Yeah. And it sets the stage for so many things. All right. We talk about the fact that when you send your initial prospecting message, you need to be talking, for us as agency owners, we need to be understanding our avatar. We need to be understanding their pain points. We need to be knowing where they are in their buyer's journey as much as possible before we even reach out to them. And then when we get into a sales call, it needs to be a consultant sales call where they're doing 90% of the talking and 10% of that conversation is you giving a solution and then answering any objections and things like that. And then we talk about the fact that you want to keep your clients, so you need to check in with them at least weekly for the first 90 days, and you need to be having monthly video call conversations with them. You need to be remembering the fact that their daughter has their first play going on and sending a message about that. You need to be remembering their birthday and sending text messages or setting up Go High Level to do it for you. You need to be remembering all of these really, really important pieces. The fact that we aren't starting the journey like that isn't going to make that feel authentic. Okay, it isn't going to bring people in that's going to value that. So if you're starting this before they even get to a sales call, one, they're turning out to a sales call without any sales barriers. All right, they're not coming in thinking, oh, I'm going to a sales call, I'm not giving this person any money. That's what we all think when we go to sales calls. It is. But if you've brought them along this journey, if you've truly helped them, if you've truly had conversations with them, if you truly let them know who you are, when they come to that call, they're excited. Some of them come to my call, I already know that I'm buying your program. By the way, can you tell me about your program? It happens. It happens. And the same thing happens with me inside of my agency. People come to me and they say, look, I already know that you guys want me to handle the lead gen. Tell me how you're going to do it and what I should expect. It happens all of the time. Okay. These are people who have convinced themselves already to buy from you. They've convinced themselves to book a call, and they've made themselves your client without your permission. All right. It's happening. And this is how you make it happen.
I think when you have also setters to set, like when they're setting your appointments, to make them kind of make sure that like the prospect that they're talking to sees like you as an authority. Because when I was talking to somebody and they were asking me loads of questions, even though I knew the answer to them, I said, you know what, I think it would be best if you go on a call with Sheena, because she can go more in depth with you rather than me. So it positions you as an authority. And then when he goes on that call, he's like, okay, you know what, I'm talking to the right person. She knows what she's talking about. Right, let's do this. Instead of him thinking, I'm going on that call to get sold, he's going on that call. So if he was dealing with like cold outreach, so I was like, you know what, she can help you. She can give you some tips. I didn't say, let's hop on a call and see how we can help you out. I said, you know what, Sheena can give you a 15-minute call and help you with your cold outreach. Yeah. I've used the pain point. I've positioned you as an authority. He said, okay, you know what, I'm in. I didn't say like, you know what, let's see how I can help you out. Because I think when you say that, it triggers something in their head, like they're going to sell me, I'm not going on this call.
Remove that credibility objection.
And you know what, that person is one of the reasons that this is the topic I chose for this live tonight. So hopefully you're here watching us. We won't name names, but hopefully you're here watching us and this has been helpful. From here, we plan to be making a PDF of some of the hardest questions. All right. So I'm going to be sending a bunch of questions over to Selena and Yasser and saying, when you have time, they never have time, guys. I work too hard. But when they have time, can you answer these questions for us? And then we'll put it into a PDF inside of your DMs. So if you've watched this and you really, really want to copy that PDF of how to deal with common agency situations, including what would you say if this was you, send us a comment down below and we'll send it in your PM. All right. I don't think we have any more questions here to answer. So is there anything else, any little gold nuggets that you guys have been thinking about today that you'd like to share with everybody?
Don't assume. Never assume, because that just, and I think one massive thing, ask good questions, ask really good questions. And then let the prospect talk. Yeah, that's it. And then once they've finished speaking, ask another question off the back of that, so they actually feel like you understand them. And then when you actually do decide to talk, they already know you understand and they'll listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even if they're not ready to buy, or they're like, you know what, I don't have the funds for it. Like I said, don't let them walk away without nothing. Send them something, send them a training, send them just something that they can go away with that can actually help them out. That's obviously to do with their problem. That's one main thing that we always push so much is free value. I think we always say it to you as well. Free value, anything that you can send, just send it to them. That will help them out, because those are the things that they're going to remember. Like, this person helped me out. This is the type of coach that I want to be with. Because I think a lot of the coaches out there, they'd be like, you know what, we can help you increase your revenue, or we can do this and we can do that. But I think people just want to be part of a community that cares about them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So in case you haven't noticed, guys, I'm extremely blessed to have Selena and Yasser. They've answered a lot of my prayers. So thank you for coming along and helping me create the community I needed, because I wouldn't have been able to put any other appointment setters in here. So thank you very much. For those of you who need an appointment setter that is trained by Selena and Yasser, let me know and we'll see what we can do for you guys. And the last little piece that I wanted to put in place here, guys, is if at any time you're struggling with any part of your buyer's journey, if you don't even know what a buyer's journey is, I challenge you to think very, very deeply about your avatar, okay? You don't have to have a niche yet. You don't have to know, oh, I'm working with corporate, or oh, I'm working with startups or whatever. If you can think about what is their Monday morning problem, what is going on inside of their head that they need to shake off before they walk outside the door and hug their families? What is it that at lunchtime they realize they're procrastinating because they hate it so much, right? How is that making them feel? If it continues, what's that feeling going to snowball into? All right. What's going to happen to their lives if that doesn't happen? And how is this affecting their network. I mean, trust me, I'm a pretty busy business owner at times, and that affects my family. It affects my kids. It affects my marriage. It affects my relationship with my friends. It affects who I am personally. It affects my sleep. It affects so many different things. Blessed to have a team to support me so that it doesn't affect it the same way it should. But these business owners that are coming to you for your help, these are the things they're feeling. And if you can't think, oh, I don't know how to have a conversation with somebody I don't know, because it can be hard, it can be scary. If you really dive deep into who their avatar is and just try and understand their feelings and their demographics and whether or not they can trust marketers or not, it's going to make it much simpler for you to go into those questions, into those conversations. Ask powerful questions. So you've already figured out what it is you need to ask about, and nurture relationships, because relationships are what become clients that stick around for a long time, and they're the people that are going to get you more customers from referrals. All right, guys, I think that is it. Can we all say thank you to Yes and Selena for taking time? It's like 11th, almost midnight where they are.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us.
Super late for us. So thank you very much, guys, and we will see you all around.
Bye.